Okay, here we are in another Stormgate cast, and I'm Algorithmor, and this is going to be another game featuring my pal Dutchy here in the Red Infernal. And today's submitted replay is against KR Bob, who last I checked is ranked number 30 on the leaderboard, with a large number of those ahead of him being parting alt. So that puts him probably a little closer to 20th in terms of the leaderboard. Uh, so he's pretty good. And I didn't see this, but already getting a little bit of an advantage by taking out that Hexen before she can hokey pokey her way home. And I have played KR Bob myself. Thanks to the matchmaking, I am only 1500. And oh, I guess Dutchy is responding to that as well. We need more players. You are top 36. This can't be fun for you either. I guess Dutchy is a little bit disappointed about losing his Hexen there. I'll be honest, when I lose my Hexen, I'm a little tilted too, especially if it's to a dog. But I think that's also Dutchy underplaying his own skill. He is a talented infernal, and I know that he's not in the top 30, but he's in the top like 200 right now, and like many others in that range, he should not be worried about matching up with folks like this or like Theory or like Wallace, like we've seen in some of those earlier games. He's definitely on par with them and can take games off of them, and we'll see how he does in this matchup here. Now, one thing I will say is KR Bob is very practiced at this game and has some incredibly efficient builds. We see him at the moment. Okay, what did he do? So he's got 3 Lancers out on the map here that have taken out the health camp. And that's it, actually. He's on a single Rax. So he's, his early game here, I think, is very calculated. Here we go. We have kinetic redirect being researched. And I think I'm going to keep my eye on this command post here. So I believe he's going to go up to a central command very shortly. Now, Dutchy's gone ahead and popped down a second shrine. He's got a very defensive ramp here with I really like this, 2 production buildings and then the meat farm. The fell hogs, so if any units come, the fell hogs are going to come and clog up this entryway here. And he's still just creeping. Unfortunately, having lost his Hexen at the beginning there, this part of the game is actually slowed down quite a bit. You don't get the extra damage from the skulls. You don't think about the damage very much, but they do 25 damage, I believe, on each impact. Plus the infest that they create does damage over time. So not only do you get that bonus damage from them, of course, they also create fiends, which are the greatest resource in the early game. So unfortunately, losing your Hexen early, it's almost grounds to just cry and give up. Now, here's what we see. Speedy Lancers with the promote used on each one of them. That's what the upgrade was for. And now they're going to come to the front and try and get in and do some damage. But there is a well-positioned Brute there. And as I mentioned there, those Fell Hogs clogged it up. And the Lancers have to fight. There's already a tower there. So Dutchy has played against KR Bob many times, and he knows this style is deadly. When I played against KR Bob, this was the GG. He just ran in the base with these Lancers, killed all my workers, and I said, thank you for playing me. It was great to meet someone in the top 50. But Dutchy, a better player than I for sure, knows what he needs to do. Even has a Weaver here, which now I need to be clear. This Weaver, because all the units can walk underneath it, cannot block the way in. If you just stick the Weaver there, the Lancers can just walk right on through. Of course, the Weaver might, take a couple pot shots on the way. But the Weaver there is there for the lash. The Lancers are speedy. They can get away, as we saw. They ran up, they took some shots, and then they just ran away. Well, the Weaver then can maybe punish them a bit by lashing them in and hopefully focusing one down. Maybe two if the Weaver is at full energy. An Exo being added now. And so KR Bob has transitioned out of his early game, which are these Lancers, and tries to get some damage and harass done with the Lancer push. Being blocked out of that, he has switched over to Exos. He's still on single racks. And and he's gone for a third base already. That's outpacing Dutchy for sure. Although Dutchy, wow, okay, Dutchy's saying, I'm going for a tech transition here. Plopping down 3 Twilight Spires. Now, okay, so the idea here obviously is going to be going for some Sprigs. Actually, he's going for upgrades at the same time. So I think that's an interesting choice. It may be a bit of a diversion of his resources. Well, we'll see. These buildings might just be because, he wants to stay up on the tech and wants to make sure he's able to upgrade. Because he does have a Shadow Cleft going down now. 3rd Twilight Spire up. Now you might wonder why 3. Well, of course 3 you can pump out 3 at a time. But 3 a little bit early, all at once, instead of plopping 1 and then maybe 2 more when the Shadow Cleft comes, is so they can build up charges. They're sitting here, nothing's coming out of them. You might be able to get even more Sprigs out once the Shadow Cleft is finished. And the Shadow Cleft is about to be done. Now let's see, Carol Bob is just out on the map using his map advantage to just take down camps. And actually this is incredibly out of position. As speedy as these units can be, this is a large map. And let's see, we do have the first Spriggans coming out. We are up to 6 Sprigs. And he does have more Therium he can spend on Sprigs. So he's up to 7 now, and I think this is actually a good strategy, not to just immediately fly them out, but to get it, wait until you can pump out as many as you can and then keep them together. One reason is the map control that KR Bob has here allows him a lot of vision on the map, and you don't really know where that army is. You can kind of avoid the vision cam, although that Exo just spotted them. This is what I'm talking about. When the army's out on the map, you might fly by one of the units, in this case a reinforcing unit, and that was enough. KR Bob was on the opposite side of the map, but that was enough for him to know, okay, I need to get home. And this is what I was talking about, this big map. Will he get home in time to stop these Sprigs who are flying in? Now look, he's already got a sentry post down. This is the kind of efficiency you expect out of a top 50 player. The flat cannon getting in there, all the Bobs turning to auto repair. The Spriggans they are sniping a single Exo, so I are getting a little bit of damage done. And now are focusing on the racks. I actually love this. I think that more harass should be about harassing supply or harassing production. Worker harass in this game can be done with certain units, but it's not always super efficient with other units. And I think, like this is an example of that. He's focusing the sentry posts, all this wasted DPS just going down so that Bobs can repair it. Now, Bobs can still repair racks. But this, ooh, nice snipe on the Exo. Another Exo going down. Very good. And the effigy here to try and make sure that he regens that Shroud skin and stays healthy. 1 rack's going down. Now, where are those units? They're marching across the map. No, this doesn't seem like the right choice for Bob. Although, because he's on top of the production here, any Exos that pop out are just going to get immediately picked off by the Sprigs. And if that force is not big enough to take it, so... No, wait. He's creeping. His production is... Your base is under attack. Maybe he's not getting the notifications. This flak cannon here, but now there's critical mass, and they just sort of snipe that flak cannon all at once. Some crazy damage going down. Now the workers are going down. This is the kind of worker harass that's fine. There are some hornets. Okay, so I think BoB was thinking the only way I'm going to deal with this is Hornets. And now he's got his Hornets. He's got some great micro. He's got a promote on one of them. But the promoted one, the weak one, gets returned to hangared. The other two are trying to fly away. There's a flak cannon here. One of the Hornets goes down. And the Spriggans do retreat. So Hornets are the units you want here. But there's only a single one here. Now that flak cannon also getting shots off. Another Hornet popping out. And he lost all his racks. Hornets are not just the units he wants, but the only units he can build. And these Spriggans have come back to attack now. I think they're just on auto attack here as Dutchy does macro a little bit more. And we do see, oh, it's Shadow Flyers. Thought those were more Spriggans on the way. We're up to four Hornets, which is what you need to see. But the Shadow Flyers get some good connects, and that's all the Hornets go down. There are Graven out here too now. I don't know if the Graven... I mean, Graven get bonus first light. But there's only two of them. They are invisible, but the Shadow Flyers can see Graven. They're going to take them out. Ooh, get a good snipe on one of the weak Sprigs. But the slows from the Binding Saliva and the Graven goes down. So BoB has tried two different tech choices here. Hornets and Graven. But Dutchy's just got the upper hand. Move down to the low ground. Now they're going to take out this, not MacBag, Machine Lab, sorry. And Ravens plus Hornets. Now that's looking like a pretty deadly blow. The Spriggans are... Oh, but we get a ground army showing up now. It's not much of one, but given that all those racks that got taken out, there's two Graven here. Okay, here's where the ground army's just still been out creeping, and I think that's partly just to keep income going. And they're so low though, and they're about to run by this army. If this army sees them, which it almost certainly will, an immediate lash, must be an autocast, takes down a weak lancer, two veteran C3 lancers going down, and then we get a bunch of split brutes to take out the rest of these exos. The Gravens come in too late, as well as the Hornets. Now nothing can deal with the Hornets until the Air Force shows up. The Sprigs, actually they're on move command. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 they're running away. I mean, I think, oh, a defensive Nightfall infestation, very nice. Fiends here, well, there's nothing they can do. They can just wish they weren't Fiends. And now they aren't. Now they aren't Fiends, they're dead. Two Megs and a Gaunt deciding they're going to go back home. So this is a kind of a nasty little harass force from KR BoB. The Gravens are staying home, but if he wanted to get back in this, he needs to get across the map and make sure that Dutchy's going to stay there with his army. Dutchy, it looks like, is just regrouped. And Dutchy's on 3 base, but yeah, here the Hornets are going to be annoying. That's what I'm talking about. Now we do get a Manifest Shroudstone there. They try and focus fire it down, but one Hornet goes down. And they do zoot their way out of there. Some Shadow Flyers coming and getting them. I'm pretty sure once Shadow Flyers have targeted on your unit, they are not going to stop. They are going to impact that unit no matter what. Here, and once the Hornets are on return to hangar, they're not going to stop no matter what either. So unfortunately, that's what you were going to expect to happen there. Is the Shadow Flyers will definitely follow you all the way back, and then once you hit your hangar, you can't move. You're stuck, so you're dead. And now it's a dragon as wow. This is kind of early. Okay, it's not that early dragon. I must not have noticed how much time has gone by in this game. But this has got to be it. I mean, I can't believe how well KR BoB has held on after losing so much to that Spriggan harass. But he's got a little force here, and the Graven are the kind of units that with some good sticky bombs and such, they can really get some damage done. But here they are again, creeping. Like, I'm so impressed by KR BoB's commitment here, just trying to stay in this game through creeping. Now here come the Spriggans trying to fly in. Wow. Now the Shadow Flyer's got some good explosions, but there's lots of damage being dealt to those Spriggans, and a lot of them went down. Now the whole army just gathers at the front. I think he was going for a two-prong, but unfortunately flew right on top of the army. Good Sentinel Stasis thrown on the Magmadon, but the other Magmadon gets on top, kills a couple of Exos, and now there's some sticky bombs from the Graven, killing a bunch of Gaunts and a Magmadon. Those Graven there still trying to get as much out of their value, as much value as they can. And Exos here as well being microed. Wow, an amazing hold actually. Amazing, amazing hold. And more units streaming across the map. But despite holding, Dutchy is now putting down his fourth. And actually, I think BoB's doing the wise thing here, saying like, I won that battle, I've got units. Hopefully I can come take you out. The only problem is it's the Infernal that can reinforce so much faster. Some sticky bombs going down, again, trying to get as much value out of those units. Managing to keep them alive so far. Sticky bombs adding slow to the units, making it harder for these Magmadons to get on top of them. But wow, amazing stomps. All of the Graven go down. Now it's just Exos. There's only so much you can micro them. Especially when there's Fiends on top of you and a Dragon breathing down his Plague Breath on you. And they turn and go for the third instead. Saying, I see a feast of BoBs over here. The Magmadon, there's two Sentinels at it. Another Sentry drone goes down, or another Stasis drone, sorry, goes down. And the Magmadon is freed from the Stasis. Will another one go down? Yes, very good. And waits for the trample. That's very nice. The Sentry, or the Sentinel goes down. These Exos are trying their best. They have the tier 3 upgrade. There's just so many units. Some of them are Fiends. They just can't out-micro Fiends. They're always going to be taking hits from Fiends. And there they go down. So much micro. The Sentinel makes it away. But I just don't see this picking up. There's just 3 more Exos added. And Dutchy just needs to push up the ramp, and I think this is over. I mean, last time he thought that too, and somehow BoB was able to hold. So I really like that he's instead making the wise choice and being like, I'm going to go kill BoBs, I'm going to go deny thirds. At some point I'll be able to starve him out. And ooh, nice focus fire to keep or take the Stasis drone off the Magmadon. And again, turning back and saying, I'm not going to chase your BoBs, I'm just going to kill your base. Sentinels a little bit advanced. I wonder what that's about. There's another Stasis drone. But a ton of Fiends now thanks to the Dragon and some of those BoBs. And you can't micro them when they're in a surround like that. And there they go. So many weak ones. But all of them, invincible because of their invincible. And that's a GG from BoB. And it was a GG. And I believe that was Dutchy's first win over BoB. And he was quite happy to share this replay with me. So thanks for watching.